October 10th, 2013. This is kind of an update on the video from last night, guys. We're looking at different images of ISON, but I want to look at the legend of the winged disc, and it goes back, it's not just Egyptian, but it goes back to the Sumerian text and actually all over the world. One of the videos I'm going to do in the next few days is going to tie in all the different countries of the world that have this winged disc legend, and we need to figure out what's going on with it. Now, a lot of people think that it's a red planet that's flying in. You see it here with the cobras. It's not a winged planet. It is exactly what they call it, a winged disc, and it's also always associated with a god coming to Earth. Okay, this is where the winged disc got its name, and they called it At, or A-A-T, and it had to do with Ra coming. He left first in the disc, came back down, and helped in a battle. He led the metal workers in a battle. It says, and they won the battle. Now, this goes all the way into the Old Testament with Joshua chapter 10, guys. If you read that, it said the Lord discomfited them from before Israel and slew them with a great slaughter to Gibeon. And it came to pass as they fled from before Israel and were in the going down to Bethlehem, that the Lord cast down great stones, are you listening, from heaven upon them, and they died. And it says, and there were more which died from the hailstones, and whom the children of Israel slew with the sword. And that was a lot of them. And the battle wasn't over with the Amorites. And Joshua asked the Lord, he says, let the sun stand still and the moon, and let the day last longer. And it goes on and said the sun did that. It stood still in the midst of heaven. And it was the longest day ever. It never happened again since that point. Could that be a comet coming in the evening, guys, and keeping at daylight, and that hailstone, the hailstones coming down be part of a meteorite or a comet debris trail or leading objects? Read Joshua 10:10. It goes into detail. And here it tells you this is in Persia, South America, Australia, Mesopotamia, in Egypt. The winged disc. Here is key. It is not a planet. It is an occupied vehicle. Let's keep that clear when we're talking about this. It's not a red winged planet. It is a winged disc that is occupied by a god in all the legends. And there's a lot going on in this world right now. We're looking at this budget deficit on the 17th. Because it's never happened before, and China wanting to take everything over. I hope they don't forget about the divine wind. But here I had a question about the bow shock, and that's showing you that very front image, not the red V. That's the bow shock, okay? Let's just kind of go through these and take a look at it. Now we've got the object in the front, we've got the frontal jet, we have the main comet body or whatever that is, and we've got these two objects on both sides. Just like in a lot of the pictures where we saw like a large comet object with two orbiting objects behind on either side, smaller like that. And now we see this, and we also have the lead object with a frontal jet, and it appears that these two objects on the side are jetting too. Now this is an image of that frontal jet. This is on Hubble back in May, and it's not real clear there. It's kind of in that dark area, but as I pull it up, you'll see it's just slightly off center. It's in the gap. It's right there. It's that green, and I'll show it to you. It's a little clearer, but again, these are new images behind the Hubble image, so that frontal jet has remained. Again, the side objects seem to be if they are cometary bodies, if it's some type of comet or something, that would explain them being on the edge of the comet, the cloud itself, and jetting as they are exposed to the sun. But there seems to be something going on with these two objects. Now this is just because of all the comments from last night, guys. But what are we looking at? What are we dealing with? Everybody feels it, especially with the government broke now. And this is one of the frontal jet images, and you can see it's outside the main. It goes through and outside the main halo of the coma cloud itself. but it's very interesting times. This is not the time to let your guard down, and guys, I think it's time to stock up on extra food and water. If these banks go down, we're going to be in trouble. But it's a heads up, guys, and just right here at the end, I want to clear up one thing that we've talked about before, and especially with these new images, this parallax factor thing. Let's eliminate that completely out of the picture like I've tried to do before, but it keeps getting brought up. Let's eliminate the two side objects. I said it's 3 stacked objects, right? They're out of the picture. And what I've been focusing on is right there in the center. Center object with 2 edges trailing out equal distance on both sides. Heads up, be safe.